Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Warm welcome, friends, into the session. In this session, again, we are going to discuss, or we are going to get the knowledge about the cybersecurity issues. So, in this session, we will cover the attacks on a wireless network. So, before to discuss the particular attacks, first of all, we need to get idea about the wireless network. So, in this session, we will learn about the wireless network, basics of wireless network, and the prominent standards available for the wireless network. So, after this session, you will get the idea of wireless network basics, the components of a wireless network, and wireless network standards and modes. So, if you can see on a screen the Wi-Fi symbol, the Wi-Fi, that means wireless fidelity. Wireless fidelity. So, earlier days, when the network use was at initial stage, at that time Ethernet was not a big problem, but later on, whenever the business or the research projects or the defense operation moved from one place or building centric approach to the multiple building approach, at that time it was a serious concern, because the long range cabling was a big issue in terms of cost, in terms of maintenance, and myriad of issues were there. So the researcher felt the need of wireless communication. That means the communication should be without use of cable, and the entire concept was conceptualized by the earlier available or earlier introduced concept with the concept radio frequency. In that, with the help of radio waves, the wireless communication was happen. But now it was the challenging for the researcher to send the data in form of digital, in form of electromagnetic pulse. It was the challenging for the researcher, and the first wireless network invented by AT&T in the Netherlands in 1991. So, in a wireless, the transformation of information or power between two nodes without any kind of physical electrical conductor. So, ultimately, what is the wireless communication? Wireless communication, that means sending information from a sender to receiver, right? Now, but or earlier date, the cable was used for this kind of communication. So that means with the help of cable, maybe a coaxial cable, maybe a fiber optic cable, the sender can send the electromagnetic pulse in the form of 0101, that means in the form of digital signal, to the receiver. But now the transformation of information between two nodes without any kind of physical electrical conductor. So, wireless technology uses the radio waves for short or long distance communication. So the radio waves are important or vital for the this kind of communication. Now, uh, before we know, you people are also familiar with the wireless communication, and you have accessed so many times, or it is not new concept for you. The wireless communication is, but uh, we we need to know how the actual communication happens. So how the actual communication happens, or which are the components really involved in a wireless communication. So particular, for example, a person one who is available on some corner of the world can send the information, that means can send the video or can share the photo or can send the voice message to another person who might be residing on the opposite corner of the world with the help of wireless network. So as we discussed, the radio waves are very important. That means radio signal are very important. But apart from the radio signal, because the antenna, the receiver antenna, or for the receiving or for the transmitting, the antenna is also required. And another is the access point. Access point, that means it the signal received by the antenna need to be processed in a human understandable format or in a computer. So the access point provides this kind of data to the computer or the dedicated machine, we can say the server or we can say the client, etc. So the radio signal are omnidirectional waves, because radio signals are, we can say, this communication happens with the help of air, and as we know it's omnidirectional. So the main advantage of this communication is user can communicate in any direction, no physical communication is required. And this tremendous growth of the wireless communication is only due to its nature. But this tremendous growth also attracts the hacker community, and lots of vulnerability have been reported due to the open nature of the wireless network. So we will discuss later on. But radio signal, after that the antenna, we can say the transmitting antenna, that means receive as well as transmit. Wi-Fi receiver, we can say the Wi-Fi receiver which receives and transmit the signal, radio signal. And access point, or we can say the router. So user can connect with this network with the help of access point. So access point are the devices which receives the antenna's signal and send to the appropriate user, or appropriate user can receive or can signal or digital information on or radio signal to the particular receiver with the help of access point. So these three are main component of the wireless network. Now these are the wireless standard. Now wireless standard, that means we can say the flavor of the wireless network or the stages of innovation in a wireless network communication. So these are the standard, and these are the standards defined by the IEEE, a prominent engineers organization working in a direction of research for the information technology or engineering domain. So the common standards, these are the standard, and the standards are also helpful for the user or the manufacturer, because there are lots of network device manufacturer, and if they are manufacturing, suppose they are manufacturing the wireless devices without any standard, at that time the compatibility is major concern, and user might not connect from one company's device to another user who is using the another company's device. So the compatibility will be bigger concern. So to overcome this kind of issues, the IEEE has released the standards, and based on these standards the one user can get idea about the functionality of particular device. So in other words, we can say these are the innovation phases or phases of the innovation. So the first version was the 802.11a. Now 802.11 is a standard defined by the IEEE for the wireless communication. So furthermore, any version will come for the wireless communication, all will be categorized under the 802.11. So 8.02.11 A, B, G, N, A, C, these are the standards, and many more to come or many more will be released. So the first standard for the wireless communication is the 802.11a, and the frequency on which it operates is the 5 gigahertz, and the expected speed is 54 megabytes per second, and it does not provide the interoperability with any other version. Now the next standard is 802.11b. The frequency on which it operates is the 2.4 gigahertz, and the speed is 11 mbps expected speed, and again it does not provide the interoperability with any other device. Now based on the this innovation, the user community felt that whenever new version release, it must be compatible with the earlier version also. So 802.11g has been released. The frequency again is 2.4 gigahertz. The expected speed is the 54 mbps, and the most important thing is it provides the interoperability with the 802.11b. Now the latest standard is 802.11n, and it provides the frequency, or it works on both the channel. It also works on a 2.4 gigahertz channel, as well as it also works on a 5 gigahertz channel, and the expected speed is a 100 mbps, and it is compatible with the 802.11b because obviously it works on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency, as well as it also works on a 5 gigahertz frequency. So it is also compatible with the 802.11g version. So nowadays for the personal use or individual use, 802.11n is the current standard, and another for the industrial use, another standard is 802.11ac, and again it offers on a 5 gigahertz frequency, and it offers the maximum speed up to the 1.3 Gbps, and it is compatible with the, because it operates on a 5 gigahertz frequency, so obviously it must not be compatible with the 802.11g, because 802.11g is operate on a 2.4 gigahertz, that means different frequency. So it is interoperable with the versions which offers the services on a 5 gigahertz frequency, that means 802.11a as well as 802.11n. So these are the wireless standards. Now these are the wireless network modes. So we can classify wireless network mode in two modes, but before that we need to understand certain terminology, because as we discuss we get the idea about the access point. Access point are the routers which are installed in our computer to access the broadband communication. Nowadays we people are accessing internet. Internet is a very common, so we are accessing internet at our home also, and we are accessing the internet at our office also. So to access the internet from our phone or from our mobile laptop or our desktop or our iPad or our tablet, even from our smart TV, we need to connect with the access point or router which is installed in our premises. So this is the access point. Now we are connecting or we are finding the network device with the help of particular name, like Wi-Fi 1 or staff Wi-Fi or public Wi-Fi or railway Wi-Fi. So we are finding the particular Wi-Fi access and the name which appears on our screen while we are searching for the wireless internet or Wi-Fi connection. The name is nothing but it can be called SSID. SSID, that means service set identifier. Service set identifier, that means it's a name of the access point, human understandable access point, human understandable name for the access point. So we generally we interpret as a Wi-Fi name, and obviously it's a right interpretation, but technically it's a name of access point in the form of SSID, service set identifier. So each and every access point, generally with the configuration you can turn off, but by default each and every access point broadcasting the SSID, service set identifier. That means my name is this one. For example, my name is staff 1, and if you want to access the wireless network, then you can connect with me, but you can provide the password protection also. So with help of right password you can connect with me. So this is the concept of SSID. Now another concept is BSSID, basic SSID. Basic SSID, that means whenever imagine you are studying in a college, and in a your college building, 7 or 10 access points have been installed, and each and every access point is having unique SSID, that means name. For example, floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor 5, canteen, staff room, student room, this kind of names have been assigned to each and every access point. Now the group comprising entire group which comprises this kind of SSID, this SSID is called the BSSID, so basic SSID. So anyone who want to access the wireless network from outside of your organization, he or she need to know the BSSID of your organization. So this is the another terminology, BSSID, SSID as well as BSSID. Third terminology, important terminology for the wireless communication is ESSID, Extended Service Set Identifier. So if you want to extend your BSSID, Basic Service Set Identifier, to someone else, to some outsider, at that time ESSID is very important, and with the help of ESSID, because the group of BSSID forms a particular ESSID and with the help of extended service set identifier, outsider can communicate with your network. So these three are essential terminology, and while you are dealing with the personal network or your home network, at that time SSID is very important. And with the configuration page of the router or access point, you can change the SSID name, you can configure the criteria like particular password protection, or there are two categories of the password protocols for the wireless network, so you can change, or lots of feature like you can change the limit, you can restrict the user, you can limit the download, or you can restrict the upload. So this kind of feature can be performed with the help of router configuration. And from that, most important point is you can turn off the SSID broadcasting. SSID broadcasting, that means for the security reason, SSID broadcasting is very important. User, those who are having the valid or those who know the particular network name can also can only connect with the network. If you turn off the SSID broadcasting, that means no one can get the name of the particular network. So in that case, no one can connect with the particular network. So by default, at that time, if you turn off the SSID broadcasting, after that, if you uh, perform the network discovery in your machine, mobile phone or laptop, at that time the network name does not appear automatically, but you need to enter the network name manually, and after that you can connect with the particular network. So this is the very important feature while the security is a concern. So SSID is the very important concept or very important feature. Now the wireless network modes. Wireless network modes, that means there are two modes, infrastructure mode as well as ad hoc mode. Now first one is the ad hoc mode. Ad hoc mode provides the mobility in a true sense. So any user can roam across the wireless range automatically. He can switch the access point also, like the mobile communication, cellular communication. In that case, what happen? Particular, we need to contact the cellular network operator to access or to make the call, and for that we need to receive the signal, particular operator signal, and we are getting the signal from the mobile network tower installed nearby our place. Now, but it's not like that we can communicate or we can get the signal with from only one tower. If we left the particular range, at that time another tower which is available nearby, our cell phone starts the receiving signal from this tower, mobile tower. So this is the true sense mobility. Now in a ad hoc mode it's a possible, in a ad hoc mode it's a possible, like you can connect with the particular access point, and as we know the access point offers the certain services, offers the connectivity up to the certain range only. At that time if we lost or if we uh, go outside of the range, at that time our laptop might connect with another access point which is providing the signal. So mobility is not a concern. We can roam across the uh, signal available in a range. We can roam across the range where the signals are available. But the infrastructure mode, in a infrastructure mode, what happen? Uh, we need to communicate with the station, particular station, and from the particular station we are getting the network. Now from that station to our computer, we are receiving the network with the help of Ethernet cable. So at that time the fixed infrastructure is there, and we need to follow the limitation of the fixed infrastructure, and based on that perimeter we can get the network connectivity. So these are the wireless network modes. uh, okay friend, now in this session we discuss about the basics of wireless network, about the wireless standards, the component of wireless network, basic terminology which are important to understand the wireless network communication like SSID, BSSID, ESSID, as well as the mode of the wireless network. So in a nutshell we can say we learn about the basics of wireless network in this session. Dear friend, hope this session is fruitful and valuable for you. Okay friend, thank you very much.
स्वाध्यायः परमः